Ali, Ali. Yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. Praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message. And I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
What is this?
Maybach music.
I like this Maybach music. Sweet.
Islam, Islam, Islamism without the schism. On a rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, our Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. But let us come forth for the ancient committee and adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and minds as we open up the way. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Ya Allah abnu heru makunetru, Ya Allah abhat heru, Ya Allah ma'at heru, Ya Allah hotep heru, Ya Allah heru, Ya Allah ma'at herukuti, Ya Allah ahwajeta juti, Ya Allah per im sutek per im heru, Ya Allah bamaduti. Al-Hajjat Shepsis Rab to Ali. Amen. Hadiyas, Hadiyas, Hadiyas. And that is the same Moorish kin in transliteration. O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet. O Allah, Drew Ali. Amen. Aliyissa, Aliyissa, Aliyissa. Islam, Moorish king. And now we come forth before you with the divine constitution of Moorish America, salvation, our God, unity. The 7 supreme constitutional acts of law. Act 1, The Grand Sheik and the chairman of Moorish America in power to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the grand body of Moorish America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs, if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws, Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh. And on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you're part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings, become a part and a portion of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you're entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been opened according to the triune acts, Acts 1, 2, and 3 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, say Islam, Islam, Islamism. The providence of Allah is ever all his works. He ruleth and directeth with infinite wisdom, with instituted laws for the government of the world. He had wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature, conforming to his will. Shemotepu, Moorish King, peace and love.
Wisdom in the West. When Yehoshua stood among the Jewish priests and read and spoke, Ravana heard and was amazed. And when he asked who Yehoshua was, from whence he came, and what he was, Chief Hillel said, "We call this the day star from on high, for he has come to bring to men a light, the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel." And Hillel told Ravana all about the child, about the prophecies concerning him, about the wonders of the night when he was born, about the visit of the Magian priest, about the way in which he was protected from the wrath of evil men, about his flight to Egypt land, and how he then was serving with his father as a carpenter in Nazareth. Ravana was entranced and asked to know the way to Nazareth that he might go and honor such a one as son of Allah. And with his gorgeous train he journeyed and came to Nazareth of Galilee. He found the object of his search engaged in building dwellings for the sons of men. And when he first saw Yehoshua, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and axe. Ravana said, "All hail, most favored son of heaven." And at the end, Ravana made a feast for all the people of the town, and Yehoshua and his parents were the honored guests. For certain days, Ravana was a guest in Joseph's home on Marmion Way. He sought to learn the secret of the wisdom of the sun, but it was all too great for him. And then he asked that he might be the patron of the child, might take him to the east, where he could learn the wisdom of the Brahm. And Yehoshua longed to go, that he might learn. And after many days, his parents gave consent. Then, with proud heart, Ravana, with his train, began the journey toward the rising sun. And after many days, they crossed the Sindh and reached the provinces of Orissa and the palace of the prince. The Brahmic priests were glad to welcome home the prince. With favor, they received the Jewish boy. And Yehoshua was accepted as a pupil in the temple of Jagannath. And here he learned the Vedas and the Manic law. The Brahmic masters wondered at the clear conceptions of the child, and often were amazed when he explained to them the meaning of the law. Islam, Islam, Islam. Today is Saturday, September 28, 2024. We want to welcome everyone to a Moorish Perspective sponsored by our Moorish American government. Much gratitude and honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedowa Menti and Mohammed Chepsewell, for opening our meeting according to law. Also to our National Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Hatshepsut Tukamen Bey, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. Our subject matter is coming from Ayat 11 of our subject chapter for the week. And when he first saw Yehoshua, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and axe. At this time, Moorish kin, pardon self, we want to call to the floor our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedowa Menti and Mohammed Chepsewell. Islam?
And this, hold up.
Unmuted.
Islam, can you hear me, Grand National Secretary of the State?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. Gratitude. Well, let us rise once again upon the seven, within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore, honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. We definitely want to welcome our Moorish kin to another grand drawing when it comes to dealing with the Moorish perspectives. And I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Mohadi Shabazel. My ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Shedawar Mintia Moheja Shepsuel. This is a powerful drawing, family. We have a powerful measure to bring to our family, and this is going to be a grand drawing from many different levels, so to speak. Our subject title is coming forth from the life works of YEHOSHUA among the Muslims of India, and we actually draw from two ayats, ayat 5 and ayat 11. Ayat 11 is our featured ayat, and ayat 5 is the one that you see flowing across the bottom of the screen if you are watching our YouTube video. And that one basically states, and when he first saw YEHOSHUA, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and X. You know, now, if we were to augment this special measure and bring it up to this new era in time and now, we would say, and when we first saw El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and a scimitar. You see? And so, looking at it from this aspect, we understand the tools that YEHOSHUA had that were necessary. Why was he climbing a 12-step ladder? We already went into the definition of what a ladder is and what a ladder represents. Why was he climbing up a 12-step ladder during his time with the compass, square, and X? Once you understand that, then you understand why it was that Prophet Noble Drew Ali was climbing up the 12-step ladder. And our chairman put a measure out there. We actually have it in my page. And we also was able to get that link back updated so our family can go into Mathino's archives. But in our government page, you will see that 12-step ladder, and at the top of it, you know, you will see the lost tribes of Ali. You know, in other words, we are lost until we find ourselves, right? So it was necessary because just as YEHOSHUA knew that he was going to need that compass for the purpose in which it is to be used to draw circles around the passions and desires of the masses, teach them that anyway, how to use it that way, keep them within the bounds of righteousness, in the same way as it relates to dealing with the conduct being square. Then he knew he had to have that axe to chop away all these ungainly, you know, parts, so to speak. And so it is with our holy prophet. He had to cut away the falsehood in order that truth may prevail. He had to cut away that NBC thought pattern in order that Moorish American Muslim be on the manifest. He had to cut away that organizational mentality. He used his scimitar of consciousness to do this so that he could separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. It's a powerful demonstration. So when we look at it from this aspect, we can see the importance of why this was necessary. Because as he got to the top of the ladder, just as Jacob in the Piscean records stood in the presence of the God, you know, which was represent his ancestor, so we, when we climb all the way up to the top of the rung, we meet the great God. We call this the age of benevolence. You see? And so once we understand this, that we will be standing in the presence of the great God, then we understand who the day star on high is to us. So now we understand how Prophet Noble Drew Ali became the day star on high in this new era and time to the Moorish Americans. Just as YEHOSHUA became the day star on high to those who were known as the children of Israel during this time. We augmented that as well. So now we see how he became the day star on high. He had to climb into the heights to do this. We know that we can do the same thing. We too must become the day star on high. What is the significance of the word day as it relates to science? Because we talk about 7 days in a circle, 7 days in a year, 7 days. I mean, come on now. We know that this day that we are referring to has nothing to do with a 24-hour day. Actually, it has to do more with a 25 and 7. Only the divine know what that means. So if you go into the dictionary of symbols, let's look at how they define the word day. It says, and this is on page 275, it says the first comparison to be made with the day is that of a regular succession of events: birth, growth, maturity, decline. If some point in the sky above is taken for reference, the eastern horizon, for example, since this is the most important aspect of any horoscope and is termed ascendant by astrologers, in the 24 hours this reference point will be see the passing of all degrees of the zodiac, while the moon makes its circuit of the sky in slightly less than 28 days, 27.32, to be a precise, right? And the sun a whole year. In its monthly course, the moon was seen to copy the day. It grows larger, reaches its fullness, shrinks, and passes into a phase of darkness. The seasons of the year seem to repeat upon larger scale in divisions of the day. Spring is morning, summer, noon, autumn, sunset, winter, darkness, as far back as the 3rd millennium. BC Sumerian literary sources show how comparisons were made between a day and a lunar month in a year. So in all actuality, we're talking about a cycle. So we're talking about a star of a certain cycle. Now we know, in ancient Kemet, the first time the 5-pointed star was used to express any significance, it had to do with the Septuagint. The 5-pointed star sometimes seen in the center of the circle, or sometime isolated, sometime above the heads of certain Neteru, a deity. I have a book that I purchased recently called Hieroglyphic Words of Power. And in this particular measure, it was dealing with the mathematics of 1 up to 9. And it says 5. All human beings exist simultaneously on earth and in heaven as the 5-pointed star, soul in the belly of the sky goddess, Nut. Now notice we talked about a star being within a circle. So Nut Kemetically represents the divine womb of ancient Kemet, of the celestial Nile, as I would call it. So the stars within that will be symbolically within the belly of the sky. Or we can say spirit clothed with soul made in the form of the Netta. Or did we say Allah, according to our Moorish Holy Quran? So it says, she and her husband, the earth god Get, birthed 5 divine children: Osiris, Horus, the elder Set, Isis, Nephthys, and these 5 spirit children manifested in earthly form as deities and as the first earthly humans. 5 is the intermediary number between 1 and 9. 5 was considered a number of destiny, for it was the ideal of realized man to become a star in the company of Ra. So prior to YEHOSHUA becoming a day star on high, one will be represented as the star that represented Ra in ancient Kemet. It says in hymn 467 of the pyramid text of Unas, the soul returning to its heavenly home proclaims, "Here I am, O Ra. I am the soul, a star of gold." The five-pointed star of pinnacle warded off evil. The number 5 appears as our 5 fingers. Indeed, the Pythagoreans showed one, the open palm of the hand, as a symbol of the power of the 5 to ward off the evil eye. Because of its importance, the pentat was used as a secret sign among the Pythagoreans, enabling them to distinguish themselves and recognize other members. Directly related to the geometrical importance of divine proportion and related to the value of pi. The image of the pinnacle is found in nature's leaves. See, this is when you get into cymatics and didactic art within creation. In flowers, it says Greeks believe each point of each pennant to represent an element and all important, the fifth element, an idea. What is the fifth element of our 5-pointed open green star? Justice. Justice must take its course. This is what we are told, right? Very powerful demonstration. Also, coming from the same book, they go a little deeper and they speak on Saptit. And it touches on the duat, which is a symbol of the circle, or rather a star within the symbol of the circle, the Amduat. Again, we see spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah, because that's what we see in our flag. It's a powerful demonstration, family. We can go on and on and on with this demonstration, and whether you're dealing with the Amduat or you deal with the Saptat, all of these things have a grand expression, as it relates to dealing with oneself. Even our beloved brother Mustafa Gadala himself also makes mention of this same symbol, and how it represents the 5 and so forth and so on. There's a drawing that has a phoenix, and it actually it's known as Raket. And it's the phoenix, and the phoenix has its hands lifted like Prophet Noble Ali does in one of the pictures that you've most seen of him, when he have all of the adepts around him and he has his hands up and outward. There's a phoenix demonstrating this, and this is Raket. And it's a hypostyle column where this is in the halls of Karnak. Now when you deal with Karnak, you're talking about getting up into the halls of Luxor and everything else. But it bears this particular didactic expression, a metal netta, and it signifies the people in adoration. Raket depicts a crested lapwing rather than a common delta bird, and this bird appears to have its wings pinned, but raises up a pair of human arms. It has been suggested that this might be a gesture of submission, the way one raises one's hands in surrender, but with the brilliant star before it, I see the upraised arms in gesture of adoration or awe. To me, this suggests surrender to a higher principle. It suggests that illumination and starlight comes through the daily dedication to a spiritual principle. And it indicates priests and community members singing praises and chanting prayers for divine purposes. It says orders and lector priests, cantors, lay readers of ancient mystical liturgy in the temple were called the knowers of things. They kept lists of offerings, of praises, and even the names of the celebrants who offered temple gifts. The word reket also implied tallying one's deeds and taking into account one's actions. Here we talk about the life works of YEHOSHUA, right? But it says taking into account one's actions on a future day of reckoning. Day of reckoning. Does not the day star appear during the time of reckoning? And it says from rek, we derive the word reckon or the phrase reket ab, which means to know in your heart. It says implying clairsentience. This phrase may be what my grandmother meant when she just knew something and said, I reckon they love each other. Or even, I reckon she got what she was aiming for. To the ancient Egyptians, being a scribe was one of the most blessed professions because scribes had access to wisdom of those knowers of things. The wisdom of priests, healers, magicians, dream interpreters, philosophers, science, poets, artists. The word indicated to one was book learned as well as intuitive. Being able to read nature, natural signs, and hieroglyphs was an honorable priestly profession, for one could ascertain the will of the gods. So when you look at this particular drawing here, family, this day of reckoning, and we understand exactly what's being demonstrated, how adoration was being paid. We can see this as being the same type of homage that was being paid to YEHOSHUA. Though the symbol was not necessarily given, we can see it in the act. Listen to the words that are being stated. All hail, most favored son of heaven. They recognize YEHOSHUA as being the day star from on high. Now, please don't confuse day star with morning star. Because the morning star ain't on high. That's what a lot of people been doing. The day star and the morning star the same, and this means Lucifer and Satan, and the devil is the same as YEHOSHUA. Stop the nonsense. This is what you have some people out here, our chairman call them idiots. This is what they'll tell you. And some of our people will go for that. So, just be careful. They have a couple of more measures up here too, like the drawing dealing with Sahu. The Sahu represents a body in and of itself. Sahu actually represent what we're talking about when we deal with a light body. Day star on high. This is the grand expression of Sahu. The Sahu, it says here, let's read what it says from the words of power, hieroglyphic words of power. It says the high spiritualized form of the enlightened individual. The high spiritualized form of the enlightened individual body appears in many cultures. The light body. They say that we are star seeds. It says ancient Egyptians called it Sahu. The mystical Tibetans called it Dharmakaya or Dharmakaya, or truth body. Then we say that truth is Allah, Allah is truth, and truth is Allah. Man himself is the truth as well. So we're not talking about ordinary truth coming out of a book. When we say truth body, we're dealing with the light of divinity within one. It says, and that's what we're talking about when we say spirit clothed with soul. But it says, Gnostic Christians call it the resurrection body. In Sufism, the most sacred body is the Wujud al-Aqdas. The Sapur celestial body is known as Asali Hakiki. Taoists refer to it as the diamond body. Those immortals who have attained the enlightened form that they may appear in earthly form or in heavenly form are called skywalkers. The Jedi. And y'all seen that when you get into dealing with Star Wars, right? The Jedi. But it says the word Sahu also means to travel. So we travel by the stars, right? Astral travel. astral projection. What do you think this is taking place at? But it says, so another way to think of it is as a vessel that contains the soul that accompanies us on our endless voyage through the various states of birth, death, transformation, and rebirth. That's why we say, call these not the soul, but the actions of the soul. When we think about thinking, will, and reason, understanding, remembrance. It says the hieroglyphs that create the word Sahu are composed of the sibilants S, represented by a folded cloth and a breathy etheric Hu sound, and the body form that is an outline showing itself to be a container for light. Sahu also indicated a garment of white linen worn by people of high wisdom or authority, white-clad soldiers, right? In the spirit world, master teachers wear their energetic light codes, often appearing wrapped in a soft white aura tinged with blue when they draw close to us. The light technology helps us to create a vehicle that can move at the speed of light and via light from anywhere in the universe. The shining ones of ancient times used these light bodies. Some theosophical traditions posit that familiar constellations create patterns of light consciousness that imprint light codes on us. These include the clustered stars we know as Pleiades. That's them 7 stars. Talk about Kafesh, Orion, the Great Bear, the Sirius complex. The master teachers can enter into human forms, often using the DNA code known to them when they had physical incarnations. The Sahu bodies of Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, Saint Germain, and others are notable examples of masters who would reappearance in sightings around the globe and might be attributable to their using the remnants of their DNA code to enable reappearances thousands of years after their physical bodies died. Other Sahu bodies project a human-like form, although they may have originated elsewhere. The masters use human vessels and intelligent light forms from elsewhere in the galaxy, as can any light being manifesting with the intention from a distant, non-local earth plane. According to the Theosophist Alice A. Bailey, the overseer of this sacred energy known as Sanat Kumura, or the Ancient of Days, has 144,000 light bearers working with him for planetary unfoldment. A Sahu is not a ghost. It is a traveler from the spirit world. And when traveling in other dimensions, you can use your Sahu as a vessel to move you not only through space, but through time. Space and time are really the same thing. All beings come in the form from timeless space and will return to timeless space. Time never was when man was not, right? Actually, one can travel backward or forward in time. We do it all the time, usually in dreams or visionary states. But sometimes in the physical as well, deja vu experiences, precognitive dreams are examples of that. You know, this demonstration go on a whole lot talking about the Sahu, but we ain't gonna read the whole book. You know, we just wanted to touch on a few things dealing with the Amduat, the Sahu, the light body, and then go into the concept of what we were speaking of when we were speaking of this star. We got one more dealing with the star, which is Seba. You know, Seba, S-E-B-A, which was also the name of one of the seas of Cush. Cush was said to give birth to Seba, you know, a Saba, you know, which is where your Sabians come from. And this is why I said that the Sabians were the ones who revered the stars. But if they were pagans, why would the great God Allah give them some leeway in the Grand Quran? So this lets you know that the Sabians had to be on the right path, because Allah wouldn't have said that they will receive a reward for their works in their worship, in their veneration. You see, so somebody has been lying to us about the Sabians. You know, we know Muhammad sat at the feet of the Sabiun Hunafi, the Sabians. But anyway, it says the Seba is a gateway to consciousness and a higher realms of consciousness. If you work in deep meditation to access gods and goddesses and beings in higher realms, it helps to visualize a Seba stargate or portal in consciousness that creates a passage from one dimension to another. Whenever we travel to sacred sites, we walk in and out of worlds. See, this is what it means when it said YEHOSHUA was climbing the 12-step ladder. He was going through the various different houses of Dendera. The mandala. It says the gods and goddesses who appeared on earth in the physical forms, their natures also had a stellar form or an arc. That's actually one of the measures. If you ever went into the back of the Egyptian adept rite of self-initiation, there's a white fez. An arc is mentioned there. Akaba, Akaba, Akba. You say that Allah is the greatest. Ka, and Ba represent 3 different degrees of unfoldment as it has to do with the white fez degree, dealing with the triune Allah, wisdom, will, and love. But it says ancient sailors used the stars in the night sky as their coordinates in the vast Mediterranean Sea. And we know the Moors traveled by stars, right? Specifically the North Star, the one that has the Kafesh or the 7 stars rotating around it, the Great Bear. Y'all just heard about that earlier. The texts and stars on the temple ceilings help us to negotiate. It says the waterways of neither world. That should be navigated. As we find our way to the imperishable ones, those Seba in the modern sky that whirl about the circumpolar stars. See what I'm talking about? The stars that rotate around the North Star, that's that scimitar. That's justice taking its course. They talking about it right here. The Seba of the 38 wandering deities are the constellations that circle the equinox, appear as a calendar in the hypostyle hall of Hathor, the temple of Dendera. The qualities of beings associated with these star portals are diverse. All ancient temples with their complex doorways and halls were aligned to the seasonal energy of the sun or to particular celestial lights, such as the star Sirius. Ancient architects marked the spring equinox by making sure the Sphinx aligned directly with the rising sun at the winter solstice, and a risen sun shines directly through the subsequently open portals of Karnak. The photograph of the hieroglyph reveals this open space with the starlight shining through. And when the sun precisely crested the horizon, the doors of the sacred shrine were opened so that the light struck the golden image of Amun-Ra. Remember, Amun is the hidden one. Ra is the light that becomes manifest out of the darkness, indicating his return to full illuminated glory. Star energies also stream through the temple doorways, aligned to fixed star constellations like Pleiades, them 7 stars, the stars of Deneb and Sirius or Sirius, or those of Orion's belt. Certainly in art, which the soul passes in the underworld, the Amduat is a star portal of the underworld being Duat in the star called Dua. I got a picture of what it means to make Dua. You know, I'm going to show it to y'all in a minute. I done showed it to our family before. That's what they're talking about right here. It's similar to the phoenix that was holding the human arms up in reverence of the star. But it says Seba can be used as meditation or a trance tool so that we may find entry into the neither world, or the God world, or the inner world. Let's think of Seba's room with a view. In the Duat, one had to know the names of the guardians of these gateways. These are the Arits, the same Arits that are mentioned in the Egyptian rite of self-initiation that we have. They are portals in order to open the doors to deeper levels of subconscious and pass through. So these Arits actually represent different degrees of your subconscious. You know, this is some powerful stuff here. But I'm saying this because how do you think YEHOSHUA was able to climb the 12-step ladder? He was moving through the Amduat. He was moving through the light portals. You see? And this too we must do. Why is it necessary to understand the compass in the square? What are the uses of the compass in the square within creation? The same way we draw circles around our passions desires to keep them within the bounds of righteousness, the compass used within heaven, the divine compass of the great God Allah that was used there, was used for the purpose of keeping everything in an orderly fashion and keeping them within his ma'atic law, within his divine law. That was the purpose of the compass in the universe, the square, keeping everything, pretty much also in an orderly fashion. Powerful demonstration. And we already know the scimitar, the confession, is rotating around the North Star. So all of this activity is going on. You can see 90 degrees as it represents a square, in each quadrant of our quadratic circles. You see it in our chart of Islamism. So we can see the science behind this special demonstration. So yeah, this is a powerful demonstration, family. Understanding what a true day star is. A day star is a day star because it has caused a paradigm shift. Prophet Noble Drew Ali caused a new way of thinking when he came on the manifest. He taught us that we were not Negroes, colored folk, black people, Ethiopian. This was a new thought pattern. Prior to that, we thought that we was everything that Rome labeled us. So anytime there's a day star, such as our prophet that come with teaching, there's a shift in consciousness. And even when it come to us, the knowledge that we have came into, we represent a shift in consciousness to our people, just as the prophet represented to the whole of our people. This is powerful, family. Let that sink in a bit. So it all makes sense now when we go to, our drawing, and we see when we say we call this the day star from on high. That lets you know it came from a high place. The day star from on high. For he has come to bring men a light of life to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Moorish America. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. See that light? I am the way, the truth, and the light. Then we just talk about that Sahu. But he had to go through a process of self-initiation to become the Seba. Seba is also a name that means teacher. Didn't it tell us that, well, Mary and Elizabeth, that they had long promised son that come forth, but they must have the light before they can give it? Ooh-wee. It don't get no plainer than that. So we call this the day star on high, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. For he has come to bring us, Moorish American nationals, a light of life to lighten up the way of man and redeem our people of Moorish America. So now that you understand, you have the ability to become the Sahu. You have the ability to recognize the God within self. Now that you know this, you know what you gonna do. They say this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. It makes sense now, don't it? Now when you look at your flag and you see that crescent and you see that star within the crescent, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. Now when you see that star within the symbol of our flag, there it is, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. Now when you see your grand national seal, circle 7 with the quadrant, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. So you see how these things come outside of just being enigmatic to practicality, to where you can make them applicable to yourself. You see now how we all, each and every one of us, become in the paradigm shift. We become the circle 7 made manifest. We become the 7th of our time. Spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. Is not light synonymous with spirit? Is not spirit and light the same thing? The Sahu body. Powerful. And we gave our family all this symbolism. We gave our family all the symbolism, family, that represent this. You see? So we must understand, now that we know that we are here, each and every one of us represent a beacon light, so to speak, then we bear the torch. We torch bearers. We the torch bearers of civilization. This is who the Moors really are. So what will you leave in your life works? Notice it says the life works of YEHOSHUA in India among the Muslims. In other words, the life works of YEHOSHUA in India among those who are the will of the great God Allah. Because a Muslim is the will of Allah made manifest in human flesh. Ooh-wee. So we're talking about the life works of Prophet Noble Drew Ali in this new era in time. YEHOSHUA will come again among the Muslims in this new era in time. Who gonna check him? Who gonna check for it? So yeah, this is a powerful demonstration, family. If you get exactly what we saying, we ain't just talking to talk out the side of our neck. We ain't just saying this to sound good. If you can't get it as plain as we just made it, it ain't meant for you to get. And you're gonna hurt yourself trying if it ain't your season yet to rise, O Saptuit, O star. Goodness gracious. So understanding this, and then when we go back to dealing with, like I said, ayat 11, as it relates to what it is that we said now, it makes it plain now when we understand what it means to climb the 12-step ladder. You have a macrocosmic 12-step ladder, you have a microcosmic 12-step ladder. The macrocosmic 12-step ladder has to do with creation itself, the universe. The microcosm has to do with the 12-step ladder that exists within you. It has to do more with your DNA. Oh, man. Can you imagine that? It's a buffering system. But that's a whole nother message. All hail, most favored sons and daughters of heaven. And we know heaven is but a state of mind. Now, if you notice here too, Ravana was a guest in Joseph's home. And it tells you that he actually sought to learn the secret wisdom of the son, but it was all too great for him. And he asked that he might be a patron of the child and take him to the east where he could learn the wisdom of the bronze. But all the while, Ravana was seeking to learn this wisdom from YEHOSHUA. Goodness gracious, it don't get no plainer than that. They also spoke of, how they wondered at the clear conceptions of this young seed in the way that he explained to them the meaning of the law. Well, if he was climbing the 12-step ladder, and the 12-step ladder is synonymous to the laws of cosmology, then that means YEHOSHUA had to be teaching them something of cosmology. Ooh-wee. We gonna get it, though. We gonna get it. Law govern all events, family. But when you understand the meaning of the law, then that means you must be somebody that's fit to govern. Islam? Goodness gracious. So yeah, this is a powerful demonstration, family. So powerful. What I'm gonna do, because we don't want to overwhelm our people, I'm gonna open the floor up early, so that we can hear from our family. Because it don't take long to tell the truth, and nor do it take long to be the truth. So at this time, what we're gonna do, we're gonna open up the floor so that we can hear from our family. So star 6 your phone, Moors. Ain't no need in getting shot now. Islam. Could y'all hear me speaking on the conference call? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Could y'all hear me speaking just then?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Come on forth, brother.
All right. This was Hopkins Bay, Sydney, from the territory of Wilmington, Delaware. Want to rise and give all praises to Allah and the highest honor to his holy prophet. I didn't hear with so much he said. He was climbing the ladder, right? 12-step ladder. And he had the compass and things. Okay, you really broke that down. I mean, there's ladders inside of us, inside of me. And maybe really simplistic, We have to build up my character, have a compass, scimitar also, cut it within 90 pieces. So you made it very plain to me, and I appreciate that. I'm going to say Islam and peace. I'll speak again.
And Islam and peace. Gratitude for that clarity, brother. Islam. I think I heard another more. Islam, brother Marvin at Obey. I know you couldn't hold off on this one.
Yeah, I had to move out for a minute. Yeah, very powerful class. And yes, I'm Dr. Marvin Elwood Bay, Consul General Texas Territory, rising, giving all praise to the great God of Allah, giving highest honors to his prophet, our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. Give high honors to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. Give high honors to our Act 1. And give high honor to all of our officials. I give high honor to this class, our Moorish Prospectus class, as well as I give honor to you, Dr. Shedu Aniti Amohid Conceptual, the Committee and Adept Arafat, for hosting and instructing a most powerful class. I give honor to all those that aided in bringing forth this class this evening. Give honor to everything that is Moorish. And that's everything that the Prophet brought to save us as a nation of people, so that fallen humanity may be saved from the wrath of Allah. I give honors to all those that's listening within the sound of your and my voice. Talk about we call this day star from on high, but he has come to bring to men a light, the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Moorish America. Very powerful. And as we were speaking earlier, and as we was going through this chapter 10, and we could see a definite parallel to our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And as we come to this sacred grove, and as we study, as we listen and learn, I can see how that light can be, say, nurtured, or how it can be cleared away through moving all of the trash, the garbage that has been put upon me and my people, through this, through this demonstration that we've been involved in here in the United States. And so going through slavery, and knowing that, as the prophet said, that the only slavery that we have is mental slavery. And so that just shines more light. He's talking about that light on the whole situation, that, being spirit beings, that's who we are. We are not the body of the soul. We are spirit and a part of the great God Allah. And as we come into this understanding, as it becomes, as it unfolds, it makes perfect sense, from our five highest senses, coming through our love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This is very powerful. And I'm just so grateful for being part of this divine and national movement, to be a part of this unveiling, a part of this unfolding, because that's what it's all about. The more we study, the more we grow. The more we humble ourselves, the more the truth will be revealed to us. That's what it's all about. And he spoke on, it will be revealed to us, and if it's not, it ain't our time. Because the prophet said he wasn't gonna wake us all up at the same time. So it's just such a beautiful thing, and I just want to support this class. Your mission, our mission, because that's what it's all about. The unity, and as we grow into the understanding, we can't help but unify, because it bears witness to being unified with the great God Allah. The great God is already in us, in each and every one of us. It's such a powerful thing, and I just want to say gratitude for allowing me to speak. There's so much to be said, and that's what I like to say at this time. Gratitude, God, man, for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
And gratitude for your portion of the understanding, brother. Powerful. All right.
Islam.
Islam. Is that Sister Curta Bay?
Islam. It's me.
Uh-oh.
Islam. That engineer Curta Bay. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials, and I give honors to you, National Sister Grand Sheik, for this wonderful class tonight. And you was coming from two of the ayats from this chapter. I love this chapter. But you say your main focus, you was coming from ayat 11, and when he first saw YEHOSHUA, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hand a compass, square, and axe. And then you got going across the screen, we call this the day.
If someone is speaking, I can't hear him.
Okay, Sister Daniel, can you call on the conference call line real quick?
Yeah, call in on the conference line. Yeah, I was on it, and but I didn't want to get that. When you have both of them on, you get that.
Oh no, you all right. You won't have no feedback. You just mute off. I'll mute you out here, and then we'll hear you through the phone line. But the phone line on the computer too.
All right. Gratitude.
I'm sharing that sound.
Thank you for choosing.
Okay, I'm going to close mine. Star 6.
Just give her a second, people, family.
Islam, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
Islam.
Close out your
Gratitude.
mute out your other line though, Sister Daniel. We can hear you, so you can mute out your computer line.
Yes, I just did. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay, Islam. Yes, and I was talking about the ayat 5. We call this the day star from on high. He has come to bring to men a light, the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Moorish America. And grand class God man, and I concur with my Moorish kin who has spoken before me. And what I would just like to add too, as always, you broke that thing down and in dealing with when he said we call this the day star, talking about YEHOSHUA. And I love it when you were sharing with us how you gave us the definition of the day, and you said how the day represents a cycle of time. And I thought about, during this time, our prophet, he came forth during this time, and he said, this is a new era of time now. So we in a new era of time now. When we also know that our prophet came 5 times stronger. We know that that he came 5 times stronger than any of the prophets that had come. He had come before them, and so that was such a powerful demonstration when I was thinking about how that's when you're dealing with a day, that's dealing with a cycle of time. And also how you broke it down too, and you made it clear to us that we not get confused and don't get it mixed up with the bright and morning star. And coming out of the Piscean area, I heard a lot about that bright and morning star. And not realizing that the bright and morning star was dealing with Lucifer, and but how they taught us who the bright and morning star was, but we now that I'm here in this government, we know the truth now. And also dealing with Yehoshua climbing that 12-step ladder. And like you were saying, when you're dealing with the tools and the work, the tools of the workshop of the mind, you're dealing with character, and you're dealing with building up yourself, studying thyself, because our prophet, we are told to study self, and then when you finish study self again, he say, study yourself again. And then we know that as we continue to do this, we study ourselves and use these tools that Yehoshua talks about in our chapter before and tonight. Use these tools to help build our character so we can be the God men and the God women that we're supposed to be, because we got, like you always say, we got work to do. We got a work to do. We got a message to get out. And we can't do that until we learn how to be the message that we bring. We have to be the message that we're bringing. And I can go on, but I know our Moorish kin is anxious to get in here and share their, give their measure also. But grand class God, man, and gratitude for letting me share. As always, I enjoyed it. Islam, peace and love.
In Islam, peace and love. See, our working purpose is to find out what portion of the book that we supposed to be fulfilling. And I ain't just talking about one portion. I'm talking about, going through life and recognizing that everything that we go through, these things stem from that which is similar to what we call brotherhood test. And we'll have those things going on until we leave the body. Islam, we give honors to you for that, Sister Curta Bay. All right. It's plenty room. So what are Moors at? You know what room spell Bibles. What are Moors at? Look like
Did you call on the mighty Mo?
that's exactly who I called on. I'm getting ready to draft.
God, man, gratitude. Get me focused tonight, because you know you go around your elbow, imitate our prophet. What's the topic of the question, God, man?
Well, the topic is actually coming from Ayat 11 in our new chapter. And this particular drawing, if you go back to your Moorish Holy Quran, you know, it says, and when he first saw YEHOSHUA, he was climbing a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass and a square. But when we augment it, we say, when we first saw El Haj Sharif Ali, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hand a compass, square, and a scimitar.
Yes, sir. All right. This is Sister Cammy. I'm in Michigan. I rise, honor, and praise the great God Allah. I honor His prophet, Noble Drew Ali, official, citizens, Moors here, there, and everywhere, especially my Moorish kin. Climbing that ladder. My favorite that I use most frequently is that hammer of repetition. When I'm trying to memorize something, I'll just say it over and over and over again in my mind until I get it correct. The compass, I think about the sense of direction. When you know that your higher self exists and your lower self exists, you can determine if you in your higher self or in your lower self as far as your thought pattern. That mental slavery, Prophet said, the only kind of slavery we suffering from now is that mental slavery. And you know that Willie Lynch document planned on that mental slavery being a condition that we had, or a condition that we would have for all eternity. Allah interfered with His divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. He, the chisel, the compass, the square, and all the other ones are all tools that you can use to heal yourself. But the first thing you have to do is acknowledge and admitting you have a problem. I think that's the first step with them little anonymous meetings. You have to admit to yourself that mental slavery done did a job on me, and I got to get myself well. Stop calling yourself Negro, Black, and colored. Asiatic means human and earthbound. God, Goddess, that's acknowledging who made you, Allah. You got to get right in your mind. And it's a never-ending process. Oh, I shouldn't say never-ending, but it's a process that you have to overcome. You can't let it conquer you. And you have to keep that determination within yourself, and that compass. You should be able to navigate throughout your whole existence. Reincarnation. Go back to your ancestors. Pull out one of them hammers, just like the chisel and the square. They all have functions and purposes. The tools in the workshop of the mind, 12-step ladder, 12 crown jewels. Prophet gave it all to us. on how to heal ourselves and how to heal a nation of people and to save yourself from the wrath of Allah. That Roman yoke and law, 2,000 years ago, YEHOSHUA still got that little situation with Rome. Noble Drew Ali, he keeps sending prophets, Allah, manifesting in the flesh as a prophet to save nations from the wrath of Allah. Prophet gave it all to us. And this is where you need to come to get it all broken down for you. If you don't understand it, one of your Moorish kin will. And if you don't agree with that Moorish kin, you got enough masters of different areas in this conference call that can give you the guidance you need to navigate through our study guide, give you the guidance that you need to navigate through yourself as far as that compass. That's what I've used the compass for, navigation within the self, navigation around that Negro mentality that surfaces every once in a while. The more you do it, the more you use those 12, the tools in the 12-step ladder, the more you use it, the more you won't have to use it as frequently. I think put it under your feet and stomp on it. And then in the book of Isaiah, in the Piscean record, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Just imagine all them weapons they done formed against you for more than 500 years. They're not going to prosper. This is our time to shine. When you're on top, be kind to the European. But don't be no fool. Love instead of hate. Don't hate the European. You made them. Know what they did, how they did it. Analyze it, study it, make sense of it. You're stronger than they are. Their descendant line go back further. And your God's stronger than that Piscean record. They don't want you to know that. Because if you're feeling defeated and conquered, like the world done dealt you a bad hand, when you're feeling real low like that and your mind going places that it shouldn't, pull out your study guides. Call one of your Moorish kin. Reach out to your higher self in Allah and heal yourself. I'm working on it now. An elder once told me, the devil keep coming after you because he ain't got you. The devil within others. And the devil within myself that has thoughts of retaliation and justice. Leave all that to Allah. Because if you try to take it in your own hands, wrong. Put you in them shackles and cuffs and bury you deep in their prison system so you never get the truth out to the people. Let me get off this line because I know it's more Moorish kin. And I get excited sometimes. So gratitude, God, man, for allowing me the floor. I wasn't looking at the clock. Hopefully I didn't go over 7. Gratitude.
Gratitude, Sister Cameron. We give honors to you for that draw. Praise be to Allah. All right. Islam, is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Islam, grand man.
Yes, sir. This is Brother Hopkins Bay from the Wilmington, Delaware territory. Praise, honors always been given. I come for you said so much. I mean, your classes, you go in it so deep, and I honor you so because I don't think anybody on the planet that can go through do all these things like you go through it. You know, I'm so honored to have a assistant grant chief like yourself. You know, research. I mean, it's natural to you. You know. So I heard last night when the Moor was saying, "What's the matter with the Moors? Had the Moors given up?" And I heard that, and then I looked at it and said, "Well, I'm not really concerned with Moors that's outside of the government. You know, that's not my concern. It's the ones inside the government. You know, I don't think they've given up. I think it is like my Moor said is." I think because I climb on things that you say, so I don't need nobody on the outside. I don't climb on what they say, you know. I don't use that as my no. So when the Moors speak, I climb on it. I've been doing it for years, you know. So all we need to do is have a conversation, so I can learn some stuff, from within. This is high science. I mean, this is growing stuff. This is stuff that, you can actually grow with this. But like I said, I'm not concerned with I might be wrong, but with opinions on the outside, I just want to hear the Moors, you know, so I can strengthen myself, you know. So every day I thought, I said, Sydney, you got to get in there because you might say something to help somebody, you know. I mean, and you sitting back there getting theirs, give them some of yours. You know, I have a pretty clear conception about our great prophet. I believe I have a pretty good conception. You know, Prophet you are woo, man. You know, and I'm so glad and honored to have met the chairman. Good grief. You know, one time I wanted to change my name to Pleasant Bay, Sydney Pleasant Bay. You know, my last name. I mean, that's how much that movie was putting out. How much love he was putting out. You know. So, my sister Tammy, you know, she always comes on and bring it. Sister Rama Hill, boy, I was missing her. You know, she reminded me of the old temples. I was really missing her, you know. So, like I said, my message is that I just want to talk with the Moors, you know, round table or something like that. You know, we're talking, you know. Thank you for letting me share this. Peace and love. Star 16.
And peace and love for the drawing, brother. And on that note, you know, I was looking, and I'm trying to share something here because I told the Moors I was gonna share. So let me stop and I'm gonna represent it. Sound like I'm saying represent it, huh? But we give honors to you, brother, for that drawing, and because we like to be visual with our people as well. And we done showed this to our people before, but it makes sense because see, we get a truth by degrees, so we can show you something. But the way that you see it the next time, you get a grand degree of unfoldment, so to speak. And so what I'm going to do, let me see here. Here it is right here, this particular one here, because I was talking about this earlier. You know, we talked about the Seba, the Saptuat, the Dua, you know, every different aspect of that 5-pointed green star, Raket, and everything. There's something that's very important, and people keep overlooking this, that I try to show our people coming out of ancient Kemet. You know, and it deals with the ancient Egyptian origins of what we call making dua to Allah. As you'll see in the Orthodox world, they say make dua to Allah. You know, we was talking about the stars tonight, and the day star on high, and you know how a certain symbol represent reverence. See how the arms here on the brother, for those who looking at the screen, you can see the brother has his hands up here, and then there's a star in front of one. This represents the Amduat in this case, but it also represents, Seba, Saptuit, many different aspects. This star have a lot of meaning behind it. But the main thing is principles are being revered here. That's the real symbolism behind this. You don't need no alphabet or nothing to see this. Principles are being revered here. In the case of what we demonstrate, we say love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice per point. But we know that this derives from the Kemetic teaching of harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice. So harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice is being revered, by man in general. In other words, the macrocosm is being revered by the microcosm, and vice versa. The microcosm is being revered by the macrocosm. You see, and you can see that there's a majet here, which is a scroll behind the brother, showing that all of the truths that one is revering here comes from the scroll, of life, the book of creation, so to speak. You see, that's what that represents. And then behind this particular one, you can see that this one is actually being backed by the creator, because this symbol represents a deity. Anybody know anything about it? This represents an anthropomorphic deity, anthropomorphic deity, and then you have what they say represent, expressions or vibrations through the cymatic frequency, Allah, and we showed the interchangeable expression between Ra and La, because R is interchangeable with the letter L in linguistics. So when you say Ara, Sekhet Ara, that's a place where Ra went, Aru, Sekhet Allah. You see, this is a place. So Kemetically, Allah represents a state of being, a state of existence. This is what it means to become the Sahu. When you come into the proximity of being one with the great God Allah through what we call in our Moorish Holy Quran as deific tie, deific will. So it says the image above is from plates 1 and 2 of the Ani Chef papyrus of Ani. So this is coming from the papyrus of Ani. Ani was a scribe who died in ancient Kemet approximately 3,300 years ago. This Chef papyrus was found in his tomb. So we see the original expression of the papyrus here, and then I just enlarged it and brought it back here. And this actually is the expression of what we call dua Allah, making dua. When you hear Muslims say make dua, they were making dua in ancient Kemet way back then. And for people that don't know, that's looking at this screen right here, this anthropomorphic deity here is the same that's being expressed right here in this bust of a statue. This is the same entity kneeling here, standing here, and within the arm, because they say the arm is similar to the A and H, right here, just like you have it here, right? But in the hand, if you look closely, there's the eye of Heru in a square. So this would be Ara. See, like I said, Ara, Allah, right here. And so a lot of people try to mock this image that you see and say, oh, this is where they get the concept of Allah from. They got the right thought pattern, but they have the wrong conception about what this represents. They tell you, oh, this is a deity, a moon god, ignorance. But if you come over here, there's an explanation, that deals with Allah, because I was talking about Allah being a state of being, a place of existence. And it says variations in the field of peace, because remember, we're talking about the day star on high. This is what YEHOSHUA had to become. He had to become the day star on high. He had to become the macrocosm of the microcosm, and vice versa, so that you can know the connection between us, that deific tie, the line that unites divinity and matter, right? But it says variations of the field of peace. Listen to me now. Sekhet Allah represents the field of peace. So we talk about the word salam, as-salam, being one of the attributes of the great God Allah, peace. Allah's peace is different from man's peace. When you come into Allah's peace, you come into the light of Allah. So Allah, AHLA, in ancient Kemet, represents the field of peace. It's another way of saying Allah. In the religion of the ancient Egyptians, Allah, the field of peace, was a field of peacefulness reserved for the souls of the redeemed. It was located in one of the 4 sections of Amenti in the underworld. When they say underworld, they're not talking about under the earth. They're actually talking about the Amduat, the world that is beneath what you see with your naked eyes. So who you gonna believe, you or your lying eyes? So when you go into this special measure, it tell you that when Asar passed on, he passed into a star. When we pass comedically, they say we go into the star. They say we come from stars. So this is the real meaning behind Amenti in the underworld. If you didn't know no better, you hear underworld, you go to thinking about what they like to call hell or Hades or something. The underworld is actually above your head. When you look into the cosmos, you're looking at the underworld. You don't see it with the naked eye unless you can look behind what it is that you're seeing. So anyway, this is the real meaning behind the halls of Amenti, similar to the Elysium fields of the Greek mythology. That's where they get their concept of, the Unduat from. The Elysium fields, they call it the Elysium fields, but it's called the field of peace, Seket Allah, Seket Aru. Similar to the Elysium fields of Greek mythology, here the god Horus dwelled, waiting the time for his return to earth when he would reestablish the ring of the gods and restore the world to its original glory. Didn't they just tell you that when one tapped into the DNA, they realized that they had the ability to reincarnate, to complete certain works that had been left incomplete? So when you get to thinking about the teaching of eschatology as it relates to Christianity or Islam, when they talk about a Christ or a Mahdi, a rightly guided one returning, when we go into the teachings of the ancestors, we see that this was demonstrated in ancient Kemet long before a Bible or a Quran had been physically revealed. We see now that the name Allah had existed long before Prophet Muhammad received his revelation. It represents a state of being, a state of existence, a state of being. Be is to exist, as the 5% brothers would say. Born is to bring into existence. So Ahlu, another spell, A-L-U, both of these are Kemetic words, variations of field of Ahlu. It says the field of Aru, because the R is interchangeable with you. That's all they did. They changed it there for the ones that's looking at the screen. Still talking about the field of peace now. It says, according to the ancient Egyptian legend known as the destruction of mankind. Remember, we was talking about the day of reckoning? It's not the destruction of mankind, a day of reckoning, or what they refer to in the teachings of the Grand Quran as the day of requital, judgment day. Huh? It says the destruction of mankind was first discovered in the tomb of Seti. Now watch what it says. Seti I, or Seti the first, the god Ra, tired of ruling over disobedient people of the earth, retired to the sky where he created for himself a place to dwell and rule over. There he created a great field of rest, Allah, the great field for growing crops. The field of Ahlu, the book of the dead, describes, it says that upon the death of the human body, this is the location of the newly formed soul. See that Sahu? Remember we were talking about that earlier? It is here they will spend their time harvesting the divine crops. The field, it is surrounded by the wall of iron, which has many doors. It is traversed by a river. It says the valley grows to the height of 7 cubits. All this is symbolism, enigmatic symbolism, supreme mathematics, as they like to call them. Alu has also been compared to the Elysium fields of Greek mythology. Source, Brodick Concise Dictionary of Egyptian Archaeology, Dale Book of Ware 9. So we see right here, Allah is a state of men. When Ra got tired of these hard-headed, stiff-necked, rebellious Egyptians during his time, just like the prophet talked about our people, didn't the prophet say, now let's take it to more side. Now, I know y'all here. Somebody already there with me before I get ready to say this. Listen now. The god Ra, tired of ruling over disobedient people of the earth, retired to the sky, where he created for himself a place to dwell and rule over. Then Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I can better teach you from the plane of soul, because there the enemy can't hide. Oh my God. Y'all ain't hear me when I just said what I said. Now here go the Kemetic source telling you what Ra did when he got tired of ruling over disobedient people. But our teaching tell us Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I can better teach you from the plane of soul, because there the enemy can. Oh, wait a minute. We got a whole chapter where YEHOSHUA went into the realm of the unmanifest and taught. Oh my goodness. How can we look over this stuff when it's right there? But Heru did it before YEHOSHUA did it. You know, so, oh man, when they be talking about dua, make dua to Allah, all praise be to Allah, man, a lot of the Muslims know what's going on, but the Muslims, you know, those who've been taught to just submit to the will instead of become the will, you know, they have no idea about this dua that you make to Allah. See how that one's standing right there? Pay attention to it. Now look at him. See it? Now watch this. I'm gonna have to reshare it again. If I'm gonna share this tab instead once I get to the image, because it's gonna pull it up. Hold up, let me scroll here. It's always here. Anytime you pull the prophet, there it go right there. That's a bold one right there. We want that. You see the prophet right there? Let me share this tab instead. There it go right there. Y'all see the prophet? How he posting up right there? Egyptian adept with his hands raised. Let's go back to the other image. We're going to share it again. We're going to share this tab right here again. You see it? You see it? Oh, man. Goodness gracious. Signs and symbols of for conscious mind and men and women of understanding. They better stop playing with the prophet. We can't make this stuff up, family. You know, all we do is try to make it plain to you. You know, we do not try to play with our people. We try to make it plain to you so you can see what's going on. There's another up here that I also want to show our family. And I want them to pay attention to this. I want everybody to pay attention to this last one here. You know, because I showed our people this a couple of times. You know, the symbolism is there, family. You know, the truth is one. The truth is one. I already done showed y'all this right here. I keep telling our people, they think we be making this stuff up. We just create this. I did not create. All I did is took the elements and put them together. That's the Egyptian word. We talked about that scimitar rotating around that Seba, around the star, the constellation of Musketti, the great bull that we read about earlier. Even when we went into the mathematics, it yielded the same thing of the cycle ages. Conceiving phase of the Ennead, the orderly manifestation phase of the Ennead. For those who don't know who the Ennead is, these represent what we call Elohim in our Moorish Holy Quran. Kemetically, they're known as Neteru. And then you get into Sumerian, they go to talking about the Anunnaki. You know, but that's a whole nother measure. I'm just trying to show you the truth is but one. But we're dealing with cycle ages here. And the cycle ages yield the same thing that the definition yield. Who is able to place these stars in the earth? Meru, Mera, Mesura, Mizra, Mazaro. Mazaro is the word for the constellations that's mentioned in the book of Job. Mitzvah, Mitzrayim. See, the symbolism is there, but they ain't going to tell you. They ain't gonna tell you. All I did is took the circle 7 and started multiplying, the numbers by it and come up with the mathematic that's precise that brought me the root. KHTY, Keti, the root of the word Mesketi. This word right here. Right here. The gateway of God. That's where you come from. Look here. Talking about Pleiades, them 7 stars right there, the Big Dipper, rotating around the pole star. Yeah, when you get into meditation and you talking about the day star on high, that's what I was just reading to you earlier. Yes, sir. You become a light body. See this brother sitting on the earth? He on the square, ain't he? Literally. See what they call this? By opening the microcosmic orbit and connecting to the cycle of the universal macrocosm, we can draw in more universal force. That's how you become Sahu. That's how you become the day star on high. How you think the prophet did? Ain't he Ali? What the word Ali mean? The most high. Day star on high. YEHOSHUA will come again, right? We're going to make it plain. Now, some of us might want to be stuck in the past and deal with YEHOSHUA 2,000 years ago as a historical figure, and that's it. But we talking about YEHOSHUA will come again in this new era in time. We're going to make it plain. Now, what you do with it after that, that's on you. And that scimitar that we talking about really represent, in essence, the real meaning behind it, Allah, swift angels, and the prophets, your protection. This is your defense, your first line of defense right here. It's wisdom, will, and love right here. Wisdom, will, and love right there. Wisdom from Allah on high. Wisdom speak from out of the highest plane of spirit light. Swift angels. Prophets. Will. Swift angels. Will. You got to weld that scimitar with a wheel that's lined with the deific wheel, don't you? Because if it ain't in a line or a line with the deific wheel, then you moving that demonstration like a madman. Like it say, the sword in the hand of a madman when you don't know your soul. You see? And last but not least, we got one more we're going to show you. We want to make it plain, though. Like I said, let me show you something here. One more time. And this is one of the oldest measures that I put together. We don't put this stuff together to look good. We trying to show you something. Hold up. Give me a chance, and I'm going to switch the screen up in a second here. For the one that might be ready to say, I don't see it. Give me a second. I'm just trying to pull it up. And then we're going to open the flow up again to our Moorish kin. We just trying to fire your neurons up so you participate. Okay, hold up. A little bit more. I got so much up in here. Goodness gracious. I got so much up in here. It's a little ways trying to dig it up. But give me a second here. Okay. Let's see here. Scroll a little bit more. Come on. Come on. All right. Ooh-wee, yeah, I got a lot up here. One thing about it, y'all can always go to my page on Facebook. Here it is right here. This is the one I'm talking about. This is it right here. Now let me. Oh, I think I'm already showing this. Let's see. Yeah, there it go. Yeah, it's showing right there. Hold up. Let me let my sister Curta Bay back in here. I didn't notice she was out of there. I couldn't see you, Sister Curta Bay. Let me get you back in the queue. Okay, there she go. All right, there we go right there. See that right there? And I showed them, this word Nur and Ra and Ru'Allah. See, In the Grand Quran, they gave it to you. It say Allah is the light of the heavens and earth. Remember we was talking about the day star on high? It says the parable of his light is as if there were a niche and within it a lamp. It's the Grand Quran now. Now, you know we always talk about spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. No one truth contradict another truth. It says the lamp enclosed in the glass, and the glass as it were a brilliant star lit from a blessed tree, an olive. And y'all know that olive tree is a tree that's symbolic to Islam. Olive. Olive, olive. But it says neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil is well nigh luminous. That means the source of this light right here ain't in the east or the, it don't matter whether you turn, the east or the west. Allah is present because it's your essence. That's where the light come from. Though fire scarcely or barely touch it, light upon light. You hear the Mason talking about light, light, and more light, light upon light. Allah do a guide whom he will to his light. Allah doeth set forth parables for men. Allah doeth know all things. 24:36. Lit is such a light in houses which Allah hath permitted to be raised to honor. Who do you think that house is? For the celebration in them of his name. Arm, leg, arm, head. Alif, lam, lam, alif, ha. He is glorified in the mornings and the evenings and again. He ain't talking about no physical building. He talking about you, the temple of perfected man. This is the house where the light is lit, which Allah has permitted to be raised to honor. It's you. See right here, see what it says light, array, spirit, clothed with soul. Then we got lamp, ba, which is the spirit. Yep. Niche, which is ka, everything that's mentioned up here. And then we got the glass, which represents sahu, flesh divine. Now it makes sense when we get to talk about, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah, or the flesh of Allah, as it refers to the grain. It ain't talking about carnal flesh. This is what we call, basically flesh divine. So that's it right there, family. That's what it means. Comedically. It's all there. It's right there. Exalted Ray, Ra, Ru. So let me stop real quick and check in on my Moorish kin. Is there anybody else got something they want to say now? I know you want to say. I know you want to talk now. I know you want to run your beat now. Islam.
know, the Hebrew Israelites was hard-headed too. They were disobedient. They was in Egypt for a minute. We was all Moors. And they went their separate ways. They became Hebrews. Grand class, gratitude, Islam, peace and love.
And gratitude and peace and love to you as well, grand man. We give honors to you for that draw, and praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism.
Gratitude.
All right. Islam. Is there any other Moor who would like to come forth and exercise the fire? Islam? Islam.
Can you hear me, Sister Blanche?
You're a little low, Brother Malik, but I can hear you like you're at a distance.
Okay. Islam, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Islamism without the schism, and all praises be to Almighty God, Allah, and Dr. Malik Imhotep Tar El Bay, Maryland Council here in Baltimore. And first and foremost, I rise and give praise to Almighty God, Allah, Father of the universe, and the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I want to give honor to our illustrious prophet, our loved Lord, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El-Ha Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. I want to give honor to the forerunner of our holy prophet, our forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey L. I want to give honor to our theocratic government of Moorish America at one, our grand national seal, our grand national emblem, our national flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, and give special honor to Act One, the Royal Council of Act One, and give honor to all of our officials in our bureaucratic government of Moorish America. Give a special honor to our citizens, and give a special honor to you, National Assistant Grand Sheikh, for this grand measure, for breaking this, making it plain, making it plain. And I heard one time it was said that whatever you think you know, if you cannot break it down to a point where a fifth grader can understand it, then you really don't know what you think you know. You broke this day star from on high down. I mean, you connected with the 12-step ladder. You showed the purpose of building character so you can spiritually grow and unfold properly. You demonstrated the powers, the celestial powers of the tools. You also demonstrated, you said that, the prophet said that he wasn't going to wake everybody up at the same time. And I see why, because, in our Holy Quran, it says that when John came, John said, "Prepare, O Israel, prepare to meet your king." Only the pure in heart can see these lessons, or what these lessons are meant to build, or use, or how to use these tools in these lessons. So there are many are called, but there are few, I don't like to say chosen, because we don't demonstrate that. But we know that man lined his will up with the will, the deific will. But we know that Allah bestowed his wisdom, his knowledge, and understanding on those we choose to bestow it on. And I see that it's the pure in heart. Man, I was sitting here and I was just, digesting everything that was said. And I wanted to say for the record that, when our people, you come into the Moorish American government, this is not a fly-by-night demonstration. You're going to have to sit for a minute. You're going to have to, when you are given instructions, you got to follow those instructions. I know here in the Maryland Council, no longer will anybody just come in and think they can just jump in and just get, because we know what happened time before, where people will come and get the things that belong to this pure and clean nation, this government, and then take what they get and then go on about their business. That's done. It is finished.
that is up. You got to put the work in. You got to really grow. We know that you're Moorish American through your descendant lineage, but you got to put the work in. You got to claim that proclamation and declaration. That's a demonstration. So it can become a manifestation. So you can become the message that you bring. So all praises be to Almighty God. Like y'all say, grand man, I'm crumped up. I'm pumped up. So all praise be to Almighty God. Allah, once again, honor to our government, honor to you once again, grand man. And thank you for allowing me to come forth with my measure. Gratitude, peace, and love.
And gratitude for the donation and the contribution, brother. Peace and love. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. That's what I'm talking about. If this ain't Moorish America, where it's at? Islam. Gratitude, Brother Malik. Well, all right. Islamism. The floor is still open. I know it's some Moors up here biting at the bit right now.
Islam.
Islam, grand man. What you got to say?
Islam. This is Divine Minister Michael Moore Bay in the North Carolina territory. And once again, I rise and give praise to the great God and honor to our prophet, Noble Ali. And honor to this class, God, man. And honor to our citizens, our officials, and the government. Praises be to Allah. Well, brother, you said it all, because where it's written that the great work of masterminds is to restore the heritage of man, to restore him to a vast estate. And this is salvation and redemption, to master one's own mind to the perfection of one's soul, to become conscious of the God state and being one with Allah through the study of self, so that we can be ourselves. The prophet, he said, imitate I, your prophet, and you'll be loved like I, your prophet, is loved. And here, we know that he is the day star on high, being the perfect example for us to follow in the footprints that he left clearly cut. And he rose and brought to us to make us the day stars on high. Let's look at our flag. When you see YEHOSHUA climbing that 10-step ladder with the axe or the scimitar, the compass in the square, that was you, I, us, and you. The Moorish American government, the Moorish American nationals coming into their own, the oneness of being one with Allah, coming to teach one's nationality and divine creed. And he let us know what kind of a flag is the Moorish. And we look up and we see as above, so below. We the ones with the light. We're the ones with the light that opened up the door to save a whole nation of people. He brought us everything it takes to save us as a nation of people. We are today, representing that day star on high to our Moorish American flag. Because we have the land to put it in. We have everything. We know who made us. We got our nationality. We got our divine creed. We in our proper person today. And we casting forth this light. Because Moorish American nationals is the spirit man. So we can master the lower self and be able to stay in our higher self. You see what I'm saying? And be that golden cord of love divine. That part, that is the great God. And obtain the supreme justice of being love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's that based on how what the 5 points represent. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice on the manifest as lords of the plane of soul and the plane of things made manifest. And this is how we obtain that starry crown that we are to wear right there in the center of our flag. You see, and when we talk about the day star on high, we talking about the clean and pure Moorish American nation that has come to uplift not only their nation, but the nations of the earth. Fallen humanity, we are here to uplift by being that day star on high. Grand class, God, man. Peace and love.
And gratitude to you as well for that, grand man. You know, and we give honors to you. A lot of people don't know that you know, that state of being in proximity of Allah. You know, notice it said Ra got upset and he created a heaven for the ancient Kemites when he got upset with them for being disobedient, right? And when our holy prophet got upset with us, he said he worked from the plane of soul and he created us a government. Goodness gracious. Heaven on earth. Yeah, that's a powerful drawing, family. Oh, yeah, and that second Aru, second Allah, that's actually called third heaven. Wow. Islam. All right. Any other more? One more before we go to the officials. It's been a grand class tonight. All right, going once. Going twice. And you are thrice blessed, Moorish King. Islamism without the schism. So at this time, let us call Islam.
Islam, man. I'll stand down.
There ain't no standing down. You done stood up. What you standing down?
All right, praise Allah. Praise Allah.
Islam.
This is Hopkins Day. Islam. This is Hopkins Day. Yes, I do have something to say. I remember reading when the Prophet said, this is the uniting of the Moorish Temple of America. Back when I first came around, I said united. It was pretty strange to me that it would be separate. I thought the Moorish Temple of America, not the Moorish government, was already together. You know. So now I'm really, I understand it now because I'm in the government and got all these different organizations. But you, Ali, the great prophet, already said, this is the uniting, you know, of the Moors. So like you said, you just broke that down when you said that you, Ali, went on the plains of soul and sent a government down here. Woo. You be dropping them. Yes. Yes.
But Islam.
You go to grow, you know. Islam and peace.
And Islam, Brother Hopkins Bay. And see, yeah, a lot of people, you know, brother, they had a misconception of thinking the government was here to replace the temple. You know, and that has never been the draw. And what we are saying is that the temple has served its purpose of teaching our people what it's supposed to teach them. But now it's time for the temples to come up under their own government. Because we done played up under the United States long enough. Like the prophet said, go back to his May 1st, 1916 statement when he first used the term Moorish ever. May 1st, 1916, he said he founded the Moorish Science Temple for the purpose of teaching our people to be citizens, better citizens, so to speak. But he found the Moorish and Divine National Movement for the purpose of the uniting of the Asiatic states. And people just went blank, brother. They forgot the uniting of the Asiatic states, which is where we unite ourselves on the Asiatic states under our government. He didn't say the uniting of the United States. He said the uniting of the Asiatic states. So everybody got with the program when it came to the religious corporation, but they dropped the ball, brother, when it came to the prophet's instruction of uniting the Asiatic states. You can't unite the Asiatic states in the United States of America. You see, we in occupied America until we proclaim ourselves under the government in which we live. And that is not the United States. And that's why our people falling by climbing. They think that we attacking what the prophet taught. No, the prophet brought that which was good for our people under the general laws. But now we under the supreme laws. We grown enough to govern ourselves. We don't need no other nation trying to govern us. And anybody that's teaching you that, like the brother Marcus Garvey said in his Look for the Whirlwind, Look for Me in the Whirlwind speech, he say, any leader that's teaching you, to get behind that type of leadership, gonna enslave you. Same thing the prophet said. So some of our people have fear, my brother, because they've been on a welfare recipient mentality, and they've been looking and voting for so long and waiting for Rome to change their condition, letting them play with their yo-yo, and still realize that they ain't went nowhere further than they was before. And then when it all hit the fan, and the stench of slavery is still on the manifest, who you think in shackles and chains? It's always been us. So they pacify people, give you a so-called Negro leader. He the first black president. She the first black president. Even though the prophet prophesies a lot of this stuff. But what we're saying is that our people have to get off of the breast milk, of looking for help from other people. It's time to demonstrate a succession. Just like, the founding fathers did when they broke away from the British crown. They did that because they was being oppressed. So why is it an issue when we say we want to break away because of the way that we've been treating under taxation without no representation? 3/5 of a human being, even though they say something else on the books. So our people scared to govern themselves, Brother Hopkins Bay. They scared to rule their own self, and that's why they want to keep saying we already under the United States government. That's what the prophet. Well, if that was the case, are you calling the prophet a liar? And I'm not speaking you, Hopkins Bay. I'm speaking in general. If they calling the prophet a liar when he say he's gonna lead the European hill long enough to teach Moors how to run a government, because if he said that, then that means he wasn't trying to teach him how to run the United States government, because that was already here. He said, I'm going to lead the Moors here long enough to teach the Moors how to run a government. That's intent. That means that his intent was not for us to remain a lawfully chartered organization. His intent was for us to learn in that state, unfold out of it, and become a nation and put the temples under our own government. That's it. All that other stuff about people talking about they trying to overthrow that's foolishness that they talking. And half of them scared to govern themselves, brother. That's why they say that. They want to find an excuse. But Rome taking away the breast milk now. So let them keep playing. Prophets say one day all property going back to the government. He wasn't talking about the Moorish American government because we don't own no property. We'll let the wise figure that out. But we give honors to you, brother, for that love thought. Got me crunk up in here. Islam. Well, all right. At this time, we gonna go to our officials and we gonna call on Sister Offset Amun El. Islam, you there, goddess and queen?
Islam.
Islamism without the schism.
Gratitude. First, let me rise and give all praises to Allah and honors to our Prophet Nabi Ali, honors to our Moorish American government, the officials of our government and our citizens. Honors to you, God man, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shadu Ameti, and we had to step to us for bringing forth a grand Moorish perspective this evening and open up a conference call according to law. Honors to Goddess and Queen, our National Grand Secretary of the State of Moorish America, Dr. Sheptu Tutankhamun Bey, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter of the week. Honors to all my Moorish kin for bringing forth their grand measures of understanding also. Honors on our topic for tonight's class. And you said you were coming from ayat 5 and ayat 11. We call this the day starts from on high. For he has come to bring to men a light a light of the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel. And when he first saw YEHOSHUA, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder. He carried in his hand a compass, a square, and axe. And you gave us the demonstration that our prophet was carrying the compass, square, and the scimitar. You also demonstrated on the macrocosm and the micro and the macrocosm. There's something that you said just now that made me think. You said they're gonna have to get off of the breast milk, and I was thinking about that phrase. Now, we know as human beings that human, is the only being that still drinks milk on a whole. Whether it be cow's milk, plant-based milk, but we're going to speak on the cow's milk for a minute because that's the majority. So cow's milk creates disease in the body because it builds up mucus. So therefore, by creating disease in the body, it also creates problems. Our prophet tells us that the actions of the soul are reasoning, thinking, understanding, remembrance, and the will. Disease and disease are the same word. And most of our people, as our prophet found us, dealing with post-traumatic slave syndrome, as the scientific world now calls it. But our prophet called it mental slavery, because he understood exactly how deep it goes. Our brother, Dr. Foxbay, gave us that word a few moons ago, epigenics. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but epigenics. And when I think about it, and I look at how deep this rabbit hole goes, understanding the trauma that we've been through as a people and the hold that it has on us, and the importance of diet in the way we think and the way we see things. The trauma that the animals go through that before they kill them or during the execution, and that blood that passes on to the food that humans eat, and all this trauma, including the epigenetics that has proven that all the trauma that our forefathers been through has been transferred through the genes to us. So the different levels of mental incapacities that our people are dealing with, on top of what they now have to deal with, is just adding to the level of trauma that was passed on from our forefathers. And looking at all of this in culmination, man, no wonder it's so hard to reach our people sometimes, because we are truly damaged, and most of us don't even know it, because we think the life that we're dealing with is normal. We don't see this disease in our actions and in our thought patterns. That's why the prophet tells us you have to learn to love instead of hate, because he understood that if one starts to dip into that low, sometimes it will take you too far, and by the time you realize that you're behind a jail cell, too late then, because you already committed that act. And the prophet say, once you go outside his law, you broke his law, you've already broken, once you've broken the European law, you've already broken his. And by the time we get to that state, we don't even know whose law we've broken. And the prophet is telling us this because he understands the universal law. That 12-step ladder. Belief, faith, and fruition. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Man, we must, like Brother my mind is racing from Maryland. The brother, oh man, I just had it. That just spoke. Say we have to put the work in. It's so true. We must study, we must read, we must understand, because every experience that we go through is for a reason. We don't meet people just to meet people. We meet people because we have to learn from them and we have to teach them also. Now, if they're not willing to be taught, you keep it moving. Drop the seeds and let the prophet do the increase. And that's what he tells us we must do it in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. This new era of time, because it cannot be done any other way. So the level of understanding that we must have, we must keep our prophet up front so that we could master these teachings, because it behooves us in order to succeed in our own character building. Because you can't build nobody else's if yours ain't in order. And that's what the prophet tells us, we must always study self. Because if one knows his lower self well, he knows the illusions of the world. So therefore we can't be tricked, and we could use that divinity of discernment, divine discernment. So gratitude for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all my Moorish kin. Islamism.
Islamism, and it's epigenetics too, Sister Offset.
Gratitude. I couldn't remember that word.
Yeah, all is well. Yeah, eugenics and all that right there, it's definitely, I simply say, that ones has pretty much infiltrated us. It's in our DNA, tribal warfare. And that's why it's so hard for us to come together. Some of our people have tapped into the slave master's DNA code in their blood. And that's why they always come against us. Then you got those who are fighting to get up out of this hellacious condition. They the ones that tapped into the ancestors. And that's a dynamic that's going on in us that don't go on in other people. You see, at the rate that it does in us. And that's why they are successful. Just like they say the Anunnaki come down and seeded man, and they talk about panspermia. This is basically what the Roman did. They came down and inseminated our people with hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harm. I even had a European say that one time. The reason why it is that your people can't get ahead is because they've been tainted with the ways, as he stated, of the white man. He was like, we taught your people hatred. We taught your people murder and theft. And then we blame you. Yeah, a European actually said that to me one day. With Islam, gratitude, we give honors to you, sister. Well, all right. Let us call forth our National Grand Mufti, Dr. Khonshu Ma'at Herubay. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Islam National Assistant Grand Sheikh. Our National Grand Mufti is on a mission. Gratitude.
Okay, Islam, gratitude. Well, we know the brothers about our father business, man. That gave you a whole lot of time, Grand Secretary of the State, to wear that scimitar, because we can't wait. We already know you got them notebooks smoking right now, page on fire. So let us call our National Grand Secretary of the State, Sister Shepsut Rakat Ma'at Ampu Tut, to come and bay up in here. But y'all starting no stuff.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Wee! I tell you, such a powerful, powerful class. Gratitude. Islam, Moorish kin. First of all, I want to rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, with angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedo Amenti, Elma Hedgetchep Suel, for opening our meeting according to law, and also hosting this Grand Moorish Perspective class this evening. We want to give honor to Act 1. We want to give special honor to our Moorish kin and also our family online. When we look at the subject matter, and that's dealing with ayat 5 and also ayat 11, we call this the day star from on high, for he has come to bring to men a light, the light of life, to lighten up the way of men and redeem his people of Israel. And then ayat 11, and when he first saw YEHOSHUA, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder, and he carried in his hands a compass, square, and axe. And we give so much honor to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali for letting us know the importance of repetition. I tell you, because every time we go through these lessons, there is another layer peeled off, if you will. We receive even higher heights of elevation. And this is so powerful. Gratitude for bringing forth this special degrees on the class this evening. When we looked at, you highlight the bullet points. I tell you, it is so powerful. You should see all these pages. But when we look at the Duat, dealing with the afterlife and the realm of the gods, or the Neteru, if you will. And see, we give so much honor to our ancestors, that were demonstrating these highest heights, these degrees, and also left behind through various modalities of communication, whether it be in the form of formulas or books, verbal, and also ascending and descending so that we would get the message. When we look at us having guides, not only within ourselves, but also without, in the ethereal and heavenly realm. And looking at the fact that we have got to recognize the fact, just like in chapter 1, where it speaks about time never was when man was not, and being able to recognize the fact that there is no death. Spirit man can't die. And if Allah lives, the spirit man lives as well. I was also reflecting back on your earlier writings, and it's not strange that dealing with the ancient Egyptian adept rite of self-initiation. Self-initiation. This means that you've got to put the work in with these lessons of self-mastery. The word or term that you spoke of was dealing with multi-dimensional reality. And too often, our people, not having received these higher lessons and these higher degrees, even here within our Moorish nation, because this is why we say that we are students, that we are striving, that we have to conform to the will of the Creator. When you look at things on a multi-dimensional reality, now it becomes clear how you have got to solve the fix for yourself. What Allah has fixed is up for us to be able to come into the comprehension of it. And when we look at light being, see, that takes on a whole different degree when we speak about a paradigm shift, because the prophet spoke of it in reference or terms of flesh divine. And when we look at us being light beings, then this means that we have more to unfold into, and we have got to get out of the demonstration of putting limitations within our mindset. Because if we can't envision it, if we cannot receive the wisdom from our Creator from on high, from our ancestors, being able to speak with the prophets directly, then we are keeping ourselves bound down to the things on a manifest level, thinking that, well, hey, I was born in sin. Ain't no such thing as a perfect being. But indeed, we are. All we have to do is go within. And when you were speaking about the macrocosm and the microcosm, dealing with cosmology and looking at how the universe was put together, and all of these things reside within us, then we can see the glory within ourselves as being a spirit and a part of the great God Allah. And the term spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah, and takes on an even elevated meaning. Being the light beings that we are, we can now see climbing on that 12-step ladder, dealing with it from the level of the plane of soul and also from the ethereal level. And this is, I actually saw it ascending, unfolding, and then descending again to bring the message down to the people. And this is how the prophets are able to pass the degrees on to those that are in position to be able to receive these highest lessons. It's just so powerful. And being within the presence of the Creator at all times. We now see why the prophet gave us the foundational lesson of all Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love. If you don't have love divine, there's no way that you can deal with ascension into the highest heights. And we heal ourselves, Moorish kin. When you're dealing with meditation at its highest heights and being able to travel, you spoke about astral travel, and where you are able to go beyond the boundaries of space and time. These things are possible. All truth is one. So what our prophet brought to us, when he speaks about the keys of civilization, being able to go through these special doors. I was also looking at the fields of peace, where, as you state, Allah's peace is not like what man considers as peace, well, the absence of war. It's an even grander realm, and these are the lessons that our prophet is trying to get us to reflect upon, contemplate upon, and when we spend our time in these lower realms, then we take on those, the sluggish will, if you will. So we have got to be able to rise above, recognizing that we are actually gods here on this plane of things made manifest and this plane of soul, but there are other realms that we have got to ascend to in solving the fix in order to take our place, not only in the affairs of men, but in the affairs of God. So this is just such a grand class. It brings us even closer to the ancestors, to our prophet, and just how much he brought to us. And all we've got to do is take it and save ourselves. So much gratitude to you, Dr. Shahi, because I tell you, everything is about perspective. Everything is about how you view yourself. If you see yourself as something that has a beginning and an end, then, when you transition, you're going to see that all of that was basically an illusion. So we are here about standing upon the truth, and gratitude for those ancient Kemethian words and references to Hu being the truth body, because traveling, that's not a joke. We do that automatically when we have dreams. We're traveling in various realms. So now, can you imagine when you are focused and using the highest consciousness as the vehicle to be able to go to destinations that also are not uncertain nor unknown? So gratitude more for calling me forth. Praise Allah for this Moorish American government, for our prophet, and also giving all praises, to our Creator. Gratitude more for calling me forth. Islam.
And gratitude for that measure, Grand National Secretary of State. Very powerful. That's what I'm talking about. Sweep it up. Goodness gracious. Islamism without the schism. Ooh, well, we know our chairman on the manifest. Let me call forth my Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton Pert M. Heru Toot the Common Bay. Now, I know he got a lot to say about this day star on high. Islam.
Man, I wish I remember would. It's long.
Islamism.
I give praise to Allah and unto the Prophet of Ali. Man, this is a powerful demonstration here. And so when it comes down to this enlightenment, more we just count our blessings. Because when it comes down to the things that the host first saw, what was he thinking? Oh, he was climbing up the 3-step ladder, the 12-step ladder, you see? And this is how it is when we got on a balance as to what the prophet brought to us, we began to climb that ladder into the consciousness and the wisdom on the highest plane of spirit life. And once we was able to tell the truth, once we learn and know who made us, and that was it right there. When we found out the way God made us, because you got to remember, you know, prior to that, we thought the slave master made us. You know, we ain't know no better. Well, you know, we are so blessed more. So this is dealing with the life work of YEHOSHUA. Today, when not so much as in India, but right here in America, because we've got our life source mighty powerful and more Islamism without a schism. Thank you. Praise Allah for you.
Islam, Dr. Shahid, if you're speaking more, we can't hear you.
Islam, how about now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Islamism without the schism. Well, all right. Well, at this time, we're going to call forth our national grand sheik, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Where you at, Sheik? You there?
Islam, Dr. Shahid. I don't see our national grand sheik on the board. He was still dealing with the hurricane remnants.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Our sheik was dealing with that hurricane. Well, we pray that our national grand sheik most definitely is all right. Well, praise be to Allah. So we just want to say gratitude to all the Moors that brought forth their measures, and the best is yet to come. It's been a grand class, and we give honors to all of y'all for y'all participation. Islam, it's time to exhume a nation. Well, all right, Moorish kin. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work in their homes on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. When these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or a group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. And if they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we bring forth this divine decree. Chapter 25, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Yea, the children of one father provided for by his care, and the breasts of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam. Go in peace, Muslims. Peace and love.
It's a grand class,
Hello?
Dr. Shaheed.
Grand class.
Class.
Love.
Great
Grand
class,
class.
Sister Grand Sheik. Great class. Love you more.
Love.
It's a grand class.
Grand class. National Grand Chief. Grand class.
Peace and love, family. We love you.
Gratitude.
Love is there. Always.
This
Powerful,
session
powerful
is no longer
class.
being recorded.
Evermore.
Islam.
Star on high.
We love you, Moors. We love you.
With that scimitar,
Peace and love. Well, all right,
peace and
Moors.
love, Mighty Mo.
And we want to
Peace and
get
love.
honest to all of y'all Moors, man, for showing up tonight. Y'all did it today. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
And our family on social media. Islam.
Indeed.
Islam, brother.
Gratitude.
Islam. That's right. Islam, Gary Miles Bay. You know, who this is? We got our family out there. Smoke God 420. Cena Renee, Marvin Edwards Bay. Who that is? Cosmo Art Bay, D Miller Bay. We got some new more. That's what I'm talking about. You know, Cena Renee, Tyrif Bay, Sunshine L, Islam. Y'all come on in here, man, and bring them talents so we can build this nation.
No, that's right.
We're gonna put them people out there with them clipboards talking about voting to shame. Islam. Be in Walmart Park talking that mud. Islam. We give honors to you, Moorish kid. Peace and love. Y'all know we love you more. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Ain't nothing wrong with a little Moorish humor. Islam. See y'all in Sunday school, Moors.
Peace and love.
Love, Mighty Mo.
Peace and love.
Goodbye.